How's it going, guys? Winter Kills here, and welcome back to a brand new week, and with it, the start of more locals feature matches from my locals this past Saturday. And this is our first locals in the new format, in quotes new, and the reason I say that is because it's not really that new. We've got VW on the left, piloted by my friend Adam, and Tri-Brigade, piloted by my friend John on the right. You guys have seen him on the channel in the past playing VW, but he is deciding to play Tri-Brigade this format, or at least for a little while. I'm not entirely sure. But as these guys get ready to start the match, let's see who you guys thought was going to win this match. About 800 votes or so as I'm recording right now, and 56% of the votes going towards VW, while 44% going to Tri-Brigade. This is a pretty interesting poll result here. Mainly because, I still feel like Tri-Brigade is a really, really good deck. And all VW got in this new format was a second E-Telly. The deck still has a lot of consistency issues. Granted, E-Telly to 2 does help. But Tri-Brigade is still a really crazy card at the end of the day. We're going to see our VW player open up City and Lulu, which is a really, really good opening, especially when it's backed up by Gamma. Our Tri-Brigade player is going to attempt to Ash, and it's just going to fall victim to the Gamma. Which, you could hold the Ash for later, but, if they're opening that strong, why not try to at least Ash the Lulu? I totally understand that, because that puts them on having to have a Gamma. And in that case, if they don't, then their Lulu doesn't resolve, and, their end board is probably going to be a little weaker, but, it all depends on what they opened on top of that. Puts them on needing more names, etc., etc. So Kieran resolving, now seeing the GG, dubbing Nyan Nyan. We're going to see him go ahead and Synchro 6 here into a Stardust Charge Warrior. That is going to allow him to draw a singular card upon the Synchro Summon. It looks like he'll go ahead and draw into the Shan Wu. And then we're going to see King Long activate here. Of course, he'll go ahead and banish to search the Prismatic Secret Rare Lao Lao, and discarding the Shan Wu that he drew off the Charge Warrior. And then we're going to see him actually hard make the Crystal Wing here with the Psy-Frame Gamma and the Charge Warrior. Really interesting play. And one thing I love about the Psy-Frame engine in this deck, it's so incredibly good. You could argue it's also really good in Tri-Brigade, but in VW, it just seems almost absurd. You can protect pretty much all of your best starting plays with one of the best hand traps in the game. And if the Gamma resolves and gets on the board, not only can you use it to synchro for cards like Crystal Wing, but you could also use it to Ixie summon to cards like Fan Fan if you're going second, or Constellar Ptolemy M7, which is pretty insane. Actually, Fan Fan might not be a generic rank 6, but either way, still getting half of a free M7 is not terrible. We're going to see him resolve the Lao Lao here now, bringing back Gigi, and then once Gigi is summoned, we're going to see him bring back the Nyan Nyan, which will count as a level 3 tuner at this point. And we'll see if he has anything else to follow up here. It looks like he's going to activate the Pot of Desires, probably trying to draw into some hand traps here at this point, or try to find something to do with this other Nyan Nyan that he's got on board, and E-Telly would probably be pretty nice. Maybe he could make a Coral Dragon just to kind of chill on board with, or he could possibly try to get access to another rank 9 or level 9 synchro, and that of Crocosaur, which I think he's going to try to go ahead and do right now with the help of Shan Wu that he already had in the grave. Bring back Kieran, and then discarding Lulu, and those materials will get banished as a result, but he does not care. He's going to get the draw on the summon of Croc, and I believe he drew into Ash there, so really, really good draw. And then we're going to see Nyan Nyan's effect activate, putting back a banished card into the deck. And he really doesn't have much of a deck left at this point, which is kind of hilarious. To resolving all of those VW effects and desires, he literally, his graveyard at this point looks bigger than his main deck, which is kind of funny. So end phase GG, and he'll pass turn there. So the heavily munched Shen that is on the field, I don't know how well you guys can see that, but it was a little bit of a running joke that these two guys had going into this tournament, that they would just pull a Shen from the tins and just destroy it and still opt to play with it in their deck. They also wanted to rarity downgrade a lot of the VW cards. So instead of playing the Secret Shen, just opting to play the super rare, or playing the rare fan or rare cities. Like, just, I don't know why they wanted to do it. It's just, I don't know. It is what it is. So we're going to see Fractal activate in the hand here, sending itself to attempt to send another Tri-Brigade card from the deck to the grave. I believe it says Tri-Brigade card. Kit might say card, but either way, you can use it to dump Nerval, and Nerval will add Karis. Interesting, no Ash there, because like even if he does have the Gamma, you can negate with Crystal Wing. But that does unfortunately like let the normal summon of a Rescue Cat go through pretty much uninterrupted. I mean, not entirely, because on the summon you could just blow it up with Croc. And then he's basically needs to have a Karas in hand to keep going. I mean, you have Chuche too on top of that. So, like, I feel like Ash on that Fractal is totally justified at the end of the day. But, you know, this works just as fine. So you'll put Karas on board, and that's going to get popped with Chuche as he recycles 2 back into the main deck. And we're going to see him normal summon Nerval. And I imagine this Nerval will not be staying on the board for much longer. Croc effect is going to activate, discarding an Ash and a Lulu. Since Ash really isn't going to be too impactful at this point, he's already pretty much resolved all the facts you could want to Ash, the Fractal being one and Nerval being other. Those have both resolved at this point, so it doesn't really need that card. I think he has the Lao in hand for some good recovery. And yeah, we're going to see him activate Foolish Burial, which I don't know what that's really going to accomplish at this point, but we'll see him activate it regardless. Looking through the main deck, is there anything else he can do here? Thinking, dot. So we've already seen Fractal. We've already seen Kit, I believe. Just going to go ahead and dump another Fractal, and he's going to activate Monster Reborn, which is a pretty good last card to have in hand here, I have to say. He's going to bring back Fractal, and I mean, Crystal Wing hasn't been exhausted at this point. He has banished 4. See if he negates it or not, because if he doesn't, maybe we've got a game on our hands, but he is definitely going to negate, and we are off to a game 2 just like that. And as these guys get started, I want to mention a quick shout out to Imperium Duelist, guys. They just came out with some brand new dice themed after GOAT format monsters, much like their other set of dice they came out with in the past. So if you want to pick some of those up, definitely check them out. They also just came out with a brand new Millennium 4.0 playmat, which you guys will be seeing in upcoming videos on my channel. Go check that out. Go get yours if you want to before it sells out. And don't forget to use my discount code WinnerKills10 off at checkout to save 10% off your entire order and support the channel in the process. And if you guys are buying anything on TCG Player, please do not forget to use my affiliate link down in the description below. If you guys shop and check out using that link, a small bit of the revenue from your purchase will go right back in the channel, and it does help out a ton. So getting back to the game here, we're going to see Fractal pitch itself, dumping Nerval. Nerval adding Kit, I believe. And Kit will go ahead and banish 2 to summon Bear. And it looks like, unfortunately, our VW player has opened up Psy-Frame Driver, which is like, seems to be glued to the hand of my friend Adam. It seems like every deck that I've seen him play, that engine in specifically, he just always has Driver. Driver is just always there. It's unfortunate because like it's such a good hand trap engine, but it comes with the trade-off of playing 1 Garnet. Which, I mean, if it's only 1, that's fine. If it were any more, then it'd probably almost not be worth playing. But still, it is what it is. I mean, it can be a discard for a King Long or a Janwu at this point, so it's not terrible. Or Twin Twisters, basically free discard. But we're going to see him just end on the Rugal and 2 set, one of them which we know is a Revolt. We're going to see Standby Phase Twin, I would imagine. And we're going to see him chain Revolt here. It's going to bring out 4, 3 from Banished and 1 from Grave. And everything except the Bearbrum, because that was not properly summoned. And we're going to see him bring out Shurig. And obviously no effect of Shurig here. And the other set being a Judgment. So, I mean, interesting that he held. I mean, I get why he didn't use the Judgment because he already has Rugal set up. So, like, the fact that he doesn't get to banish now really doesn't mean anything because he can just use the Silver Sheller effect at any point during his opponent's combo to summon a monster from his grave, and that will then trigger Shurig's effect because it's either when. I think it's any time, like, either it's summoned or a beast, wing beast, or beast warrior is summoned. It can non-target banish a card, so. And he has plenty of targets in grave. We're going to see him activate City here, and that is going to get ashed. I honestly would say that's a pretty fair Ash. And then we're going to see him normal summon GG. And, I mean, knowing VW, I feel like you definitely Shurig here, banish, because that puts him on needing a King Long, which, I mean, he definitely doesn't have at this point, because I feel like he would have started with it. So, yeah, very, very quick end to game 2. There, I think he's re-sleeving the driver because something wrong with that sleeve, but you gotta hate to see the driver in the opening hand. And we are on to a game 3 situation just like that. As soon as game 2 started, it is over, and VW opting to go first here, and starting with the city. No Ash Blossom this time around. We're gonna see it activate a copy of Chuche from the deck. Will we see an E-Telly in this game? I'm not sure. I hope so. I mean, you got 2 copies in the main deck. I believe our VW player is also on... No, I don't think he was actually playing Prosperity this event. I think he had just cut them to actually lend to another friend of mine, because I was lending him my Prosperities, and I think he lended those to another friend of mine for this event, so he was actually not on the Prosperities, which I think Prosperity should, like, 100% be played in VW. I mean, maybe I'm wrong in saying that, but I think it probably should be. But it looks like we're going to see Lancia get thrown down here, I think, on the resolution of Kieran. Now we're seeing GG activate, and that's huge. I mean, that's going to turn off so many cards. Zhan Wu, King Long, Chuche in the grave for level manipulation. Really, really solid card. I mean, you can still end on Shen Shen, but he just needs to have a tuner, which he just has right there in the Nian Nian on the summon of GG, bringing itself out as a level 3 tuner, but it's not going to get brought out onto the field here because our Tri-Brigade player has a cool little hand trap called Psi-Frame Gear Gamma, which is going to negate it and summon those 2 bodies of the field. And this also poses another problem here. Now that Lancia is in effect, these Driver and Gamma are not going to get banished during the end phase, which is a really bad thing to see if you're the VW player, because that means a free Psi-Frame Lord Omega on the next turn. And we're going to see him make Fortune Tune and Kieran, the classic VW Fortune Tune Kieran end board. And yeah, I mean, I hate memeing on my friend, but I feel like he should definitely be playing a better rank 3 in the deck than just Fortune Tune. Like, I totally understand why to play Fortune Tune, because it basically just sets up Zeus Turbo at the end of the days, which, like, you know, sometimes it just wins you the game outright, because Zeus is a totally fair and balanced card here, let's be honest, amongst all the other fair and balanced cards that are in the game currently. But, I mean, like, even having something like Bamboozling Gossip Shadow would have probably been better. But, I mean, if all you have is Fortune Tune, all you have is Fortune Tune, right? I mean, I don't know if there's any benefit to leaving those 2 monsters on the field anyways. And obviously, you can't make any links, right? Can't, unfortunately, rely on the crutch that most people have to rely on, which is turn my 2 monsters into Anaconda and make a Dragoon, because you got interrupted in certain places, right? But, yeah, I mean, I believe our Tri-Brigade player is on the Omega, so I feel like he'll go for Omega very shortly here, which makes the most sense. He could also, he was also on Lambda, which is not surprising to see too, because, like, Gamma is kind of more important than ever in Tri-Brigade, especially with the hits that it's received. The 2 tankies gone and the barrage gone as well. Makes Zoo variants not totally obsolete, but not as efficient, because, like, barrage is an insane card, and pretty much every Zodiac monster is going to fight for the normal summon, which is not good in a deck like this. You'd rather be normal summoning probably any Tri-Brigade, unless you have, like, Karis in hand, I guess, is the only argument to that, is, like, why you could still play the Zoo engine. But Barrage was certainly a nice card. But yeah, protecting Rescue Cat is really, really good, and that is what a lot of decks are switching to now, and Rescue Cat is amazing at baiting out hand traps. Valor, Imperm, Ash, you know, and Gamma does a great job at saying no to those cards, more specifically Ash, not the other 2. So you could argue, like, Forbidden Lance could be a pretty nice side deck card or tech card against, or as a Tri-Brigade player, because you can dodge Imperm. Valor is another thing, but if you're playing Talents, you basically just get to Talents them if they hit your cat on normal summon with Valor. And then Gamma just takes care of the rest. And we're going to see him normal the Kit getting linked into Almirage like usual. and then kit effect, dumping, Nerval, and Nerval effect to activate to add 1. Going to be a copy of Fractal, which is a really good follow-up card for next turn to basically reload the grave and get him a search. We're going to see Fractal activate here. And dumping a Karis. That's going to put 4 names into the graveyard. Probably going to go for a big push here with Shuraig. We're actually going to see a Dark Ruler, though. Dark Ruler activating now. Just beaming the entire board. No damage here, thankfully. I mean, is there a reason to not make Omega first? I guess it doesn't matter. I mean, he might know the last card in hand as well, since he did resolve GG, so maybe there is no reason to make it beforehand and just kind of go for it after the fact. Because, like, Omega's not only going to, like, threaten hand traps here at this point, but it's also going to, like, force him to top deck a VW name. Because that Chuche does get to stay in play, which is really good. But if he hits the only VW name out of his hand, the only play he has... Well, actually, the only card in his hand is Jean, and I think he would know that at this point then. Because I think he showed him, because the reason he didn't make, or didn't send a Jean off of one of his monsters earlier was because he had it in his hand. So he had to send the other Chuche, which is unfortunate. And then we're going to see him link Omega and Almirage into Lambda, and then Omega effect to recycle 1 in the grave back into the deck. And it looks like our VW player did top deck a VW name. It looks to be Lulu, which I think is a pretty sick top deck if you ask me. But if your opponent makes Lambda, it's kind of scary because obviously you can still use Gamma even if there's a monster on field. And does he have it? Is he that good? And one set could probably be either Imperm or Revolt, and no, he does not have it, interestingly enough. So we're going to go and see him resolve Lulu here. He's going to send King Long and add the Roshi, and we're going to see King Long effect activate here. This is going to provide a good discard outlet for Jeanwu. There it is, into the grave, adding Kieran. So now it has Kieran and the Roshi in the hand, or Lao, whatever you want to call it. That was just an interesting turn of events there for that Tri-Brigade play. I mean, I don't know. I'm sure our Tri-Brigade player will leave a essay in the comments, like he always does, explaining plays, things he caught after the fact, and things he could do better going forward, which is always a nice thing to see. Because one of the nice things about having your matches recorded is you get to have, like, a perspective on your own game that you don't really get to have otherwise. It's just kind of seeing that third-person view of everything that's happening while it's happening, which is really cool. That's why I love One Deck One Month so much, because I get to actually, like, watch my matches back when I normally don't get to. So, like, mistakes that you might be consistently making, you don't really see all that often. You don't maybe ever get to see unless somebody's telling you they're watching your games, or you actually have replays saved to them, like on Dueling Book, or you actually have footage to watch back and review after each tournament you go to. It is a really nice thing to have. So Kieran resolving here does have access now to a level 9 Synchro play. Chuche, I think, may have been shuffled back into the deck last turn. No, Chuche's still in grave. Okay. I was going to say, you might have shuffled it back into the deck last turn when he used the Omega, but I think he put a different card back. But it looks like here we're going to see Revolt activate. And I guess now the plays of last turn make a little bit more sense, that he hard opened Revolt, just trying to load his grave up. Maybe didn't really need to put a Karass on board to, do any other plays outside of that. Just keep it simple. So we're going to see him Revolt, summon out 4, all 4 of them, every Tri-Brigade, and we're going to see him link into Shuraig here, of course, and we're going to get some chain links rolling. Shuraig chain link 1, I imagine, Nerval 2, Kit 3, or maybe just Shuraig 1, Nerval 2. We'll see what he's going to go ahead and activate here. And it looks like Chuche is going to be the final chain link as well, clearing the Shuraig, which I guess makes sense, because, like, you just get the body off the field, makes it easier to go into the board, and, recycles some needed cards into the deck. So we are going to see him add, send, and we're going to see him banish here in just a moment. not many options to choose from here. Really just 3 cards on board. Checking the graveyard to see any extenders that may be available. I mean, Chuche could be a pretty good card to remove here. Lulu being the only tuner, you could get rid of that. Or if you get rid of Kieran, that forces him on having another non-tuner to make a board. So he will go ahead and actually banish the Kieran here. Which, I mean, I don't understand VW as much as my friend John does, because he played the deck extensively. But we'll see what he's going to do from here. We know he has Lao, so like he's definitely can still keep playing here. I guess one of the reasons to hit the Kieran is because that's the only other level 6 non-tuner that he has access to. And you know he has Lao, so like getting rid of that prevents a potential rank 6 or maybe Zolkin play. So I actually don't think Lao can probably bring itself back, which would make a lot of sense. So you will resolve the Roshi, bringing back Gigi, and then on the summon of Gigi, we're going to see Nyan Nyan hit the board. So has plenty of tuners right now. Nyan Nyan, Lao, and Lulu. Definitely can put up a nice little board here. So we're going to see him Synchro 6 with the Gigi and Nyan Nyan into Charge. Charge will draw a card here. So yeah, I don't think, regardless, I don't think one banish is going to make a difference. I guess the only thing that would make a difference is like whether you banish the monster or the trap. Because that kind of determines what he can and cannot send off of the Lao. But ultimately, like, I think he just had enough at the end of the day. And it doesn't make too big a difference. So we are going to see Chuche activate Engrave here, I would imagine. Because otherwise, I don't think he could overlay with a 3 and a 6. But he didn't use Chuche Engrave this turn, so I might be missing something. This might be a little bit of a misplay here on behalf of my friend Adam. I'm not entirely sure. I might have missed something earlier. And if I did, please feel free to point it out. But we are going to see him recycle GG back to the hand with M7. And now using GG here to go ahead and send a King Long and summon itself to the board. And that will trigger its effect to get an end phase recursion of Lulu most likely. And also now 2 cards being banished for Chuche, so that is live currently. So we might see him make a pretty good comeback here. But again, if I'm missing something, because I know Chuche is still Engrave. So like it doesn't matter really so much that he used the 3 and a 6 if he did. Because he literally had Chuche Engrave to make it a 6. He just didn't banish it. So yeah, Shen still being established here regardless. And probably just going to go into the battle phase here. Could establish a Zeus as well. Will only be 2 or 3 materials max. So if he does decide to go for the Gaia Charger, swinging over top of the Lambda, M7 directly with Shen at 28. Gaia Charger into Zeus. And end phase GG here. To go ahead and add one back. And add back the Lao for the recovery play. And that will do it for his turn. So our Tri-Brigade player, I was going to say has to worry about Shen and Zeus, but no, he doesn't. Only has to worry about a Chuche now. That Dark Ruler seemed to be glued to his hand this match. Fractal pitching Nerval. Nerval effect. Probably love to add Rescue Cat here, but unfortunately and thankfully he cannot. I was like literally in the middle about to say like he's going to have to worry about a board wipe, a pop, and you know Macrocosmos, but no, just one pop, which he can definitely play through. He just needs to have the extender in hand because there's no way the normal summon of our Tri-Brigade player is going to survive. I feel like that's rather foolish. But he's going to add Karis. And yeah, this is really, really rough because, I mean, he did pitch Fractal. Like, the only way he could play around this like would be as if his normal summon was like a Nerval. So if it did get popped, he could, you know, affect, but, you know, search. But, like, he's going to Karis, he's going to Chuche it, and that's going to spell the end of this match. VW taking it 2-1. It looks like you guys were correct this time around. And, yeah, that's going to do it for this one. If you guys want to see more of my videos, click on one of the videos popping up on the bottom of the screen right now. And last but not least, I want to give a special thanks to our Divine level channel members who go above and beyond to support, and they are Cadillacs84, Pony Stark, Keith Sagers, Daryl Bess, and Tweeter0226. Thank you guys so much as always for your extremely generous support.